All right, believers, what's going on in the Floki verse? I'm here to tell you things are very quiet right now. And when things are very quiet right now, do you know what happens? Do you know what happens? Then the unfaithful start to sell off. Now, why is that happening? This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, guys, Floki's trading at $67.77 right now. That's a $582 million market cap. And I know what some of you are saying. What was a $1 billion market cap not that long ago, Bleaves? Well, yes, it was. And as a matter of fact, it ran that way for a very long time. But here's the problem. The problem is this. Loki is the trickster god. Floki, I guess, is the dog of the trickster god. And if that's the case, then somebody's pulling a trick on you. Now, if you have been in Floki for any length of time, you are still a hodler because you're not an idiot. But there are a lot of people who have not been in Floki for any period of time that would allow them to understand that they are currently being played and that they are going to come back in as the FOMOs. Why is that the case? Well, if we take a look back into the past of what's going on with Floki and we look at the amount of money that there is in the marketing budget, and the amount of money and the effort that they've put into everything that they've done. And let's go back, let's take just a second, kind of realize Saber likes to play with people. There have been times when we've had announcements in the Telegram chat in which Saber has saved the best for last during a big announcement, and he will put the worst announcement up, and then he will watch and he will slow walk it. And when I say slow walk, I mean he will be in the chat and it will sound like he's distracted. And then he will start telling you the worst of the news where you're just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This is it. And then you start watching people doing a cascade of sell-off because they just don't know what's going on. And then the next moment you start to see the actual big announcement, and then all of a sudden the price starts to skyrocket. So when you don't see anything happening in Floki, you're getting played. Now, the only people here who are selling off are swing and day traders, and they're nobodies. They're going to come when there's a pump. So the question is, what can we do about increasing the level of long-term hodlers? Well, the important thing is this. If you're in the Floki verse, this is where we settled for a long period of time. We settled in this range right here, and now we had this nice big pump right here where we brought in all these different people, and guess what? Now we're trending back down around that same line. That's going to be that support line. That's the line that we have as our support. Now, the reason for all of this happening right now is because Saber and the guys have pretty much gone quiet, and all we're doing is the standard things. We're not having any announcements. We're not doing anything during the early part of the year because there's some big announcements coming, and those big announcements they are waiting for. But here's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for you, the weak collector, the weak investor. They're waiting for the weak investor to sell off. Do you know why? Because in order for the prosperous, in order for the faithful to get that level of prosperity that they want, they have to make their money off of you, the day trader or the swing trader. And if you don't know that and you don't understand you're getting played, I can't help you. But I can tell you invest in Floki. So here's what's going to happen. Hopefully, we're not going to have some kind of crazy tweet from Elon Musk that says Floki at any point in the next day or two. But we're going to start to see some announcements, and they're going to start coming from Saber. And when we start to see those announcements coming, then everybody's going to start to FOMO, and everybody's going to start to get crazy again, and everything's going to start to move to the upside, and move to the upside, and move to the upside. You know why? Because we just had a shakeout. Now that you've had the shakeout, it's time for things to get set off. And once they get set off with Floki, it goes crazy. Moving on. All right, believers, last thing about Floki. If you don't take this opportunity at 67.77 And I'm telling you right now, I want you to go back. I want you to look. I want you to see where it was just a little while ago. This is the moment where everything changed. And guess what? We're kind of at that moment again. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to spike up like it did before. Do you know why? Because there's always a catalyst with Floki. There's always a big catalyst with Floki. There's always something massive coming. Now, the reason that I say that is because this is the life that you've lived if you're with Floki. This massive up right here, which led to this massive up right here, which led to this massive up right here, which led to this parabolic up right here, which led to this little downtrend, which even had a 11,000 up to 2,200, which had a 100% bump, which had another 100% bump along the way. So guys, if you're in Floki and you're paying attention, then you know that something big is coming. These people are not silent because there's no reason. They're silent because they are shaking you out. It is time for you to be faithful. And you know what? For once in your life, make yourself a 3X, make yourself a 4X, make yourself a 5X. Floki is the play right now. Set your money, forget your money, and understand that your money is going to explode in very short order. Floki is just like Saitama. It's got a huge base. It's got a huge cap. It's going to continue to explode, and great things are going to continue coming. We are 1 month away from Valhalla. When Valhalla is released, and by the way, it's a great looking product so far. When Valhalla is released, then you have a Floki game. Things are coming along. That turns Floki into a metaverse game. You know what metaverse games do. Guys, this is not financial advice. Guys, I'm always right. Guys, don't forget this one.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world. I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.